There we go. Took a little bit, but we're live. Welcome to the Air Raid Attack podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and I have a special guest I'm excited to have on today's episode. If you're just joining us, welcome. If you're a first time listener, glad to have you here. Of course, subscribe on iTunes and Google, and of course, join in on the conversation on the Facebook page, Air Raid Attack Podcast. You can search us on YouTube, Air Raid, and of course, Twitter, Air Raid _ podcast. That's where all the fun's at. But nonetheless, it won't be as chaotic as Tuesday night's podcast. If you listen to it, it will be dropping more than likely probably Saturday morning. But nonetheless, first things first, my special guest, Kenny, the Sports Guy podcast. Kenny, first off, welcome to the Air Raid Attack podcast.
And thank you, man. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, it's a pleasure, and if you don't mind, Drill, let us know where they can listen to you and where you're from, and kind of give the fans and listeners about your podcast.
Hi, this is Kenny for Kenny the Sports Guy, and you can find me on Twitter at Kenny_sports and on Instagram at Kenny the Sports Guy. Again, on Twitter at Kenny_sports and on Instagram at Kenny the Sports Guy. And you can find me on my website, www.KENNTHESPORTSGUY.com. Ken the Sports Guy, Ken with two N's. And you can also find me on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, I think Stitcher, and Amazon Music.
Hey, right there. All that information will definitely, I'll get that from Kenny. It will be in the description of the podcast. Definitely give him a listen, follow him, and he knows his stuff. And Kenny, without further ado, we got some, game 5. We all love Major League Baseball and the
It's happening
postseason.
right now, actually.
It actually is correct. Right now, as we're recording, game 5 of the NLDS is going on. And hey, I mean, what better way to end practically in the divisional series with a game 5? Of course, bitter rivalries with the Dodgers and the Giants. Of course, the Giants 107 wins this year, Dodgers 106. Of course, we all know the Dodgers are the defending World Series champions.
The Mickey Mouse Championship. The only one there was only a 60-game season, so.
Yep. Hey, that's a whole topic we can discuss because trust me, I'm the same way. Just like the LA Lakers, you can say that they won the NBA championship, but hey, I don't count it. It was a shortened season, but you got some upset. You can upset some of those fans out there real quick, and it's kind of fun. But nonetheless, I know Corey. Who is it? I know the Dodgers changed pitchers. Corey, I believe Neville is out there today.
Neville, he replaces Urias.
And so he's getting the start. Whether or not they make him a first to third inning pitcher, we don't know, but we'll see.
Sounds like a panic move, though.
I hope it don't. I'm not a Dodger fan, but I hope it don't bite him in the rear. Because any idea? Because I know I'm trying to look through the story real quick. Any idea as to why we had a quick last second move to Corey Neville as the Game 5 starter?
Well, I think the reason why is because they want to save Urias for the National League Championship Series if they make it that far. I think it's either a good move or a bad move because you need your star pitcher, for elimination game, but you also need that pitcher for the NLCS, and it's kind of like a double-edged sword for the Dodgers because obviously they have to win this game, but they have to save their pitcher for the NLCS, which is happening on Saturday. And I don't know, it's a very, very risky decision, but I think the Dodgers might win tonight.
I like the Dodgers in this one. I think the experience is going to start. Now we obviously didn't know, Giants has had success in the past, but I think this year, I think the Dodgers could easily, I think we'll get by them. But excuse me, Neville's obviously a typical, what would you say, one inning high leverage reliever type of a guy, and
Hmm.
he's going to serve as the opener, which is obviously replacing Julio. So we'll see. I mean, could we see Julio? Probably. I think if the Dodgers did this last year, could we see Julio potentially coming mid game? I know some will probably say second to third inning, but I'm thinking more what depends on. Of course, first off, depends on the outing. Let's go
Yeah,
there
yeah.
first. But if all goes well, could we see Julio as long as maybe just like last year, early mid game, third, fourth inning?
Yeah, I won't be surprised honestly because he's still fresh. I think he only pitched either game one or game two, and he's on loads of rest. But don't be surprised if you see Matt Scherzer there too, even though
Ooh.
he pitches on 3 days rest because Dodgers had an off day last yesterday. But it's all hands on deck for the Dodgers because the Dodgers have 106 wins while the Giants have 107. So in order to repeat, they'd have to put every single pitcher on there, and that's going to be pretty crazy. Just finish off 107 wins Giants team.
Hmm. Absolutely, and you look at the Dodgers, the bull. Julio has bullpen experience, of course. Neville opened 4 games, I believe, during this season, so they're obviously not in unfamiliar roles, so to speak. Obviously, caught me off guard. I know when I got the notification, I was on the fan-controlled football league show, so I couldn't really check it all out. But the Dodgers, in my opinion, the Dodgers are doing anything and everything they can to get this W because let's be honest, the Giants, San Francisco is absolutely stacked.
Yeah, they
The
are.
top of the lineup with the right hitters against the lefties. So Neville, I don't know much about him, but I do know he throws a wrench into the plan and gives, of course, LA, in my opinion, a matchup advance.
Hmm.
But San Francisco starting lineup, the same lineup that was what game, like you said, I think it was game 2 that Julio started. So it'll be interesting. I still think LA gets the win, but this one definitely is as gonna be an eye, kind of keep an eye on the game.
Well, I'm going to be looking forward to that game as well. I think it actually started right now, a minute ago. But there's also another game that's going on right now: the Bucks and the Eagles,
Hmm.
which I expect the Bucks to win by probably in between 35 to 40 points because the Eagles have no quarterback.
And
They
I'm
really
glad you
don't have no
brought.
quarterback. I mean,
Nope. Mm-mm.
who's the quarterback? Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, correct.
Jalen Hurts, and he still got a long way to go towards progressing. But I would not mind having Deshaun Watson on the team, so he could just sling the ball in Philadelphia.
Hey, and I'm glad you brought that up because I was actually gonna. That was the next segment and kind of lead into it. We got Philly, we got the Bucks, of course. We all know Tampa Bay. They can win with, they can win. Let's just put it out. Well, first off, Tom Brady, you love him or you like him, that dude can win. Or love him and you hate him, I should
He's a
say.
legend.
Yeah, that dude's as much as I despise him, and I get that people are tired of him always being in a Super Bowl.
I'm one of them, by the way.
So am I. I'm a Denver. If you can't tell, I'm Denver behind me. So am I. But nonetheless, that dude's a winner. Just like college football, Alabama. They're winners. Clemson, they're a winner. But staying on topic. But you got Philly. And I'm with you. I don't think. I think it was the opening drive. Tampa they pretty much just ran downfield. You look at Philly. I still think the quarterback issue is a huge concern for Philadelphia. You got Jalen Hurts, and
Hmm.
of course, I saw him up close and personal. Not too personal, but I saw him on obviously television with Oklahoma. We all saw him in Alabama, but he's still got some molding to do before he becomes, I think, a legit starter. Can he play? Absolutely, but in my opinion, he's still the accuracy is questionable at times. The arm strength is questionable at times, but And, I had a the owner of La Terrain watches on Dave. From a Philly standpoint, actually living in Philly, he kind of broke it down as well. What's your thoughts on Philadelphia's quarterback situation? Is Jalen the guy, what, or what should I mean? Where do they stand with Philadelphia in their quarterback position?
Well, first of all, do you remember like years back in the NFL when whenever you draft a quarterback, they
Yep.
usually wait 3 years before they take over the successor?
Hmm.
What happened to that? Like,
I think that's non-existent now,
yeah,
man.
that's not existent anymore. Because I remember when Aaron Rodgers was drafted, he was a backup for 3 years when Brett Favre was there.
Yep.
So when the Packers traded away Favre to the Jets, it was Aaron Rodgers' team, and I feel like the NBA, I mean not the NBA, the NFL, they need to go back to that. NFL coaches need to go back to
Hmm.
that and just have their young quarterback develop, learn from their the starter, and just be ready when the time is called.
Yep.
But as far as your question, I think Jalen Hurts is actually pretty good. But it's like you said, he needs molding. Like
Hmm.
he needs more seasoning in the oven. And I think the Eagles should go after Deshaun Watson because Deshaun Watson is not really playing down in Houston due to his off-season issues, and his talent's being wasted like as a third stringer right now in the Texans. And I feel like the Eagles could get like a good package for him and just trade for him.
Hmm. And that's obviously a hot topic with Deshaun Watson. And I know during the offseason, of course, we all know what transpired, all the should I say accusations, but all the stuff
Hmm.
against him. That might, obviously we don't know the future for Deshaun, but nonetheless, what from your standpoint, what is the trade value for Deshaun, knowing that we don't know what's the outcome of this allegations, and what we do know is what he can do on the field, but with the off the field issues, what would you consider his trade value be at this moment?
Wow, that's actually a tough question. If this accusation wasn't happening,
Hmm.
he would have easily been like a three first round picks.
Yep.
But now, unfortunately, the accusations are happening. I think for me, he only deserves like a third or fourth round pick.
Hmm.
Like, because you see, like, that's what happened with, there was a quarterback that got traded, I think, weeks ago. I don't know, it wasn't a quarterback. It was actually Stephon Gilmore for the Patriots. So he wasn't getting paid. And then he got traded for a sixth round pick from
Hmm.
Carolina, which is really insane if you really look at it.
Yeah.
So I think with Deshaun Watson, like he's probably gonna get like a fifth round pick only. That's it. He'll be lucky if it's like a first round pick.
And see, I'm with you, and I was at times I would go on a buddy of mine, Dan's his podcast, and we were talking about it, and really, and I'm pretty much with you on yours. Is it's more fit through probably not a seventh, but probably a fifth or sixth rounder. I mean, you look at it. I think the uncertainty, I think, is why everybody's kind of holding off, and of course, sticking with quarterbacks. The trade value, yeah, he can play, but I think that, and like you said, I think that right now we're kind of in the mix of we don't know what's going where, but I haven't heard much about the case anymore. I know it's kind of hush hush, obviously, but hopefully, Deshaun, one way or another, they can get this resolved. And if he happens to get the chance to come back on the field again, hopefully he can make a second chance worth out of it. And that kid can play. I hate to
They
see
can,
talent go down that
given in
path.
the right system though.
Exactly. Yeah. And hey, speaking of system, I gotta pick your brain real quick. As you can tell, I'm a Bronco fan. What's your
Oh,
personal
okay.
what's
I can
your
tell because of
personal
the background.
what's your personal thoughts on Denver's quarterback situation? It is I'm a Lock guy, but obviously Lock is struggling. And he struggled, a few weeks ago when Bridgewater got out of the game due to concussion. What 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 is against Baltimore? What is where does Denver go from this thing? Because you got Teddy Bridgewater, unrestricted free agent after this year. Drew Lock, 1 more year on his rookie contract. We obviously know what Lock can and definitely can't do. Bridgewater is, he's played well so far, but where does Denver go from here?
Wow, man, remember when the Broncos was 3-0?
Yep. And now we're
We were
3 and
just
2.
the Jaguars and somebody else, 3-0.
Yep.
And Teddy Bridgewater was actually playing really well, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And he could be like a good short-term solution, but
Yep.
he's not going to be a good long-term solution. But as far as your question goes, I think the Broncos should get actually Deshaun Watson. I mean, we see what they could get for him. He'll be a perfect fit in Denver.
I like Deshaun, and I've thought, and I'll be honest with you, the Aaron Rodgers thing on trade night, I upset a lot of Bronco fans, and that night, so a buddy of mine, Clyde, him and I kind of we got a friendly conversation, and so of course, the offering that the return that Green Bay wanted, what I personally thought was absolutely insane. 3 first-round pick. Okay, granted, yes, he's the league MVP.
Yeah.
Okay. Super Bowl MVP or Super Bowl champion. I think he was MVP too. Fine, that's cool. That's cool. No big deal. I respect that. My only thing, and I made it on the Twitter, was the only thing that concerned me was, first off, what will we be giving up besides the draft picks on top of getting a absolute all-star caliber quarterback, probably a Hall of Famer. And at 37, I just got a little concerned. Obviously, would I love to see Aaron Rodgers in Denver? I'm sure anybody would love to have Aaron Rodgers, unless you're Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. I'm sure everybody would love to have.
Yeah, he needs to come to New York. I'm a Jets fan, so and we desperately need a quarterback.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sold on Zach Wilson.
I mean, he has growing pains, yeah, but he's gonna develop. I see flashes of brilliance in him, though.
Ooh,
I do. I see flashes of brilliance on him. I have all the faith in the world in him.
No, I think he'll get there. He was a heck of a quarterback at, of course, BYU. I think he'll be fine. I think this year, unfortunately, you guys are obviously rebuilding practically from the bottom up. I mean,
yeah, well, it's gonna be a lot of growing pains with Zach Wilson. I think I love the running backs that they have. The wide receivers could be a little bit better. The defense is still top notch, believe it or not, even though we give up a lot of points. So I think Zach Wilson will be fun.
I think I absolutely I like Zach. It was rough. He's gonna have some rough patches. I think, once it's all said and done, I think he's gonna be one of the better quarterbacks that's gonna come out of this draft successful. Trevor, he might be successful. I don't really know.
He's getting ruined down in Jacksonville.
It's gonna be tough for him down in Jacksonville. He needs an O-line that can protect his butt.
I mean, it's not really the O-line. It's just the wide receivers that he doesn't have. And maybe it could be partly the O-line as well. But I think the coach, Urban Meyer, is not really that good.
Nope. I didn't think. I mean, he won games at Florida and he won games at Ohio State. He was phenomenal at Utah and, of course, his early years at Bowling Green. I wasn't. Yeah, he's successful in college, but I really didn't find him that as a hot commodity.
I don't know. I mean, like he has the potential, but I just feel like Urban Meyer is just ruining. It's like the Adam Gase effect down in last year with Sam Darnold. It's crazy.
It's interesting what's going to happen. I mean, with you bringing up Urban Meyer, it's definitely interesting. I don't see Jacksonville really disciplining Urban Meyer. Obviously, in those videos, yes, that's Urban Meyer. We that's proven. I don't see him being disciplined. I don't see this going anywhere. I'm guessing it's a dead story. I'm guessing. I haven't heard much since, but
Well, he didn't break any football rules.
no, exactly.
He just broke life rules.
Well, yeah, yeah. And I'm not gonna get into his personal stuff. That's gonna be between him and his family, his obviously his wife, and they can dish it out however they please to. But course, Urban, and everybody wants to connect him to USC. Do you think Urban's going to be a one and done year for him, realizing his system and his schematics and all this isn't going to work in the NFL, or is that money just too good right now for him to bounce back into college ranks?
Honestly, I think he's gonna be one and done. They're gonna fire him after the season because they're expecting more out of him. But I think he might go back to college. To be honest,
So I think he's more of a college coach, kind of like a Steve Spurrier was.
I mean, he had to retire earlier in his career because of health issues.
Hmm.
So I don't know why he took the Jacksonville job. I was actually a shocker when he got hired.
I was too because, well, like I said, he's successful in college, yes, but
Kind of like a Steve Spurrier was.
the Big Ten, I don't. The Big Ten's not a football conference, but that's beside the point. But no, I was shocked. Yeah, the money was wonderful for him. I would have jumped on
Obviously,
that.
it's a lot of money.
Man, that was a lot of money. And I thought it was been one of those things of a that you always see the head coach and general manager positions, both of them kind of mixture like a Pete Carroll was. But um, I guess that wasn't the case. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't see him being successful in the NFL, and I definitely don't see him in 22 with Jacksonville. I don't think this is going to be a good fit for him.
Who should be the next head coach of the Jaguars?
Ooh. Mm. You know, you always want to mix in Dabo with Trevor.
Nah,
Yeah.
that was not going. He's not even Clemson.
No, no.
Nah, he's not even. He has it too good down there.
Just like Lincoln Riley has it too good at Oklahoma. Nick Saban won't go back. He has it. Well, he has it really good at Alabama.
I mean, why would he go back to NFL? Nick Saban.
Yeah, he wasn't that good. Ooh. Could you see He's not a big name, but Lombardi, the offensive coordinator for the Chargers.
Oh, you mean Joe Lombardi? I think?
Joe. Mhm.
Yeah. I could see him that, but what
Jackson.
about the Chiefs offensive coordinator, Eric Bieniemy?
Oh, but yes. You know, he's mentioned for Las Vegas as well.
I mean, after what happened with John Gruden, yeah, I would take that. I would take that job.
You know, that was a tough. I know that one's a touchy subject, but my thing is, and I see what people are saying, and literally, if you go, to answer your question for Jacksonville, Lombardi, I think would be, Bieniemy could be. Josh McDaniel always gets mentioned for every job opening that comes about.
He was every head coach.
He was a horrible head coach in Denver. I think he's waiting for Bill Belichick to retire, and maybe he gets that one. I really don't know.
The same thing with Kyle Shanahan when before he was hired by the 49ers. I'm like, really? Why Kyle Shanahan?
I don't know. I'm trying to list through the division. You know, Cliff Kingsbury is doing pretty well at Arizona. Sean McVay's fine in LA. Pete Carroll's too old. I don't see him changing. I think, you know, I would go Bieniemy.
What about Matt Nagy?
Ooh.
A lot of people in Chicago want him gone. They want him gone because of his questionable coaching decisions.
I feel bad for him, and I get Chicago's got a lot of talent. He needs to make up his quarterback mind. I could see him gone. Do you ever think? Now, John, I should have said it before I said it because now I'm drawing a blank here. Who was Cincinnati's head coach? I'm really now. Who just got
Cincinnati's head coach is
prior to Zach Taylor? Why am I not? Why can I think of his name?
his head coach right now.
He was prior to Zach.
No, Zach Taylor is the coach right now, but I gotta see. I can
He
check
played-
right now. It was actually who was it? Marvin Lewis.
Yes. Thank you.
He's been there for like over 13 years.
13 years. Thank you. Okay, I knew.
15 years.
Yep. I'm like, I was about to say, and then I was like, okay. And now I literally, yes, Marvin. Thank you very much, Marvin Lewis. Cool. And I'm not saying Jacksonville. I'm just saying in general. Do we think he might be in the league back, or is he done?
Marvin Lewis, yeah, I think he could has the potential to coach the Jaguars. I mean, I think he'll be a good fit there, but again, he has a reputation of not delivering. So like all these years with the Bengals, he only went to 4. He had 7 playoff berths, but I don't think he never won. He never won a playoff game.
Nope.
He was 0-7.
Yep.
I mean, he could be good for like a young team like the Jaguars, but maybe for like 2 or 3 years until probably the owner gets tired of him and gets fired.
There we go. I knew I was missing him. What about Joe Brady?
Joe Brady. So I don't know about him honestly. I think he's a good coach, but he just doesn't fit the needs of the Jaguars.
What about? And I'm going through this list. Kind of see it's from Sports Illustrated. Kind of seeing who else a hot commodity is out there.
I got one. What about Adam Gase?
Ooh.
But then again, he's like blackballed in the NFL now because what he did with Sam Darnold.
Could we see Adam Gase in Denver?
No.
No.
I don't think, like I said, I don't think he's coming back to the NFL. I think he stays in Alabama.
Now he wouldn't be, if he stays at Alabama and actually learn from his mistakes, he could be a fit for Alabama.
Yeah. What about Bill O'Brien? I mean, he messed up one franchise already.
Yeah, he's definitely ruined Houston. I think somebody's liable to give him a chance. I could see what would be a good fit. A team that always just ruins just their franchise in general.
Here's like a shot in the dark one. What about Bill Belichick?
See, he's one. I don't know how much more he can stay in New England.
I think this will be his last year.
Mac Jones has played, but I think New England needs to really, really look at this organization and realize, are we done with Bill? I mean, has he done all he can do? Is anybody going to replace Tom Brady? Absolutely not.
No,
and I'm not saying
that's
that.
never going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. But that's a good point. That's a good thing. I kind of wonder, New England needs to look at this. Where are we at with Bill? Because the team is slowly improving. Mac Jones he's not bad. He's not great, but he's not bad. But is it time to get a complete overhaul of the organization? And I think that's an excellent point. I kind of would like to see what may happen, regardless of if they do or don't make the playoffs, how that organization does.
Well, here's the thing. Belichick is like the only relic for the past championship teams along with Kraft. And I just don't see the Patriots firing him. I think he leaves on his own terms.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to probably either resign or retire.
Yep.
He probably wants a new challenge in another team anyway. So I think he either does that or he just retires.
What about Todd Bowles?
Don't get me started on him because he was the Jets head coach and he kind of ruined the team. So
that's why I kind of had to say that. I'm gonna get your aspect.
With him, I think he'll be better off as a defensive coordinator at
Yep.
Tampa Bay. Like he hasn't made down there. He has a good defense. I don't know why he wants to leave. So he has Tom Brady on the team. That's like an easy championship.
I'm gonna give you two names, and I totally forgot. Justin Gill, their assistant, offensive coordinators, and I'm just kind of throwing them out there. I don't see them as head coaches. Probably they may be 10, 15 years down the road. Maybe, I don't know. Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, and Brian Leftwich, the offensive coordinator for the Bucks.
Moore, no, but Leftwich, I would definitely see him as head coach material. He could coach the Jaguars.
And see, he played there too
because he used to play for the Jaguars in his early careers.
Yep.
And I could see him. I could see him coaching that team.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, he actually was really good with the Jaguars for like 2 years, and then he just fallen off.
And he was one of them. I used to collect sports cards. I don't anymore, but and I was scrolling through. I'm like, wow, I haven't found these in forever. Just kind of randomly scrolling through John Elway, Barrison, or so on and so forth. But I saw Brian Leftwich. I said, man, I wonder what happened to Google offensive corner. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. I didn't even know that. But I could see him.
But he won't leave Tampa.
Not right now.
Yeah, not right now. He probably gonna leave in 3 years. He's gonna leave when Brady retires or something.
At age 50.
I won't be surprised if he plays until age 60.
That dude, God, he's robotic. I swear, this dude's robotic. I've never seen Peyton Manning, poor guy. When we won Super Bowl 50, I didn't think Peyton Manning was going to make it through the season. But this dude over here.
And by the way, the Bucs are winning 14-7 in second quarter with 3:25 left.
Nice.
And I think Brady already has a touchdown already. So that man is always like doing touchdown passes. It's like it's second nature to him.
That dude's just, I'm telling you, this guy is just, and San Francisco left a guy on third. As we head to the second. No, it's just, Tom Brady, that dude can play. Speaking of playing, is it crazy to say, and Dan from Time to BS podcast, definitely give him a check out and listen. Phenomenal guy. Of course, he's saying I'm being a homer. I could see where that comes from, but at the same time, being realistic. Is it possible we could see Kyler Murray win the MVP this year?
I don't think he's going to win MVP. I think he's going to come down to two players. Justin Herbert of the Los Angeles Chargers.
Ooh, I like that.
And Josh Allen of the Bills.
Allen's playing lights out right now.
But I could definitely see Justin Herbert winning MVP. He's been playing lights out football throughout the 5 weeks. And also, I could just see who else? I think maybe I wouldn't say Mahomes. Mahomes is not there yet, but I'll give it to like 3 weeks before he gets it going. He's going to be in the MVP conversation.
I'll give you a game. We'll kind of preview some games throughout our conversation. Of course, we got the Cleveland Browns. They're hosting the only league's undefeated team with Arizona on Sunday. Of course, you got the first round overall pick in 2018, Baker. You got the 2019 overall in Kyler. Of course, the Browns haven't lost back-to-back games under Coach excuse me. And they haven't lost 2 straight games since, I think, the end of 2019. So, on the other side, you got Arizona. They're 5-0 for the first time since the mid-'70s. So, and that dates back all the way to when my dad would always say the St. Louis Cardinals, the actual football team, not the baseball team. So anybody out there like, wait a minute, they play baseball? Well, they do, but different one. I know a lot of people had Cleveland, me, for example. A lot of people had Cleveland on the this is their year, Super Bowl year, and hopefully Molly watches it. Molly's a humongous. Her and her boyfriend are humongous Brown fans. But
Poor thing.
I was
I mean, no
hoping-
offense, but they have not been good since last year. So last year was their first major successful season.
I'll be honest. I was on the Cleveland Super Bowl choo-choo train, so to speak. But what's wrong with Cleveland from your aspect?
Easy, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is not playing.
Oh, ooh! I'm gonna
he's
say
not,
that.
he's not getting it together. I mean, the defense is pretty good. And also, I think OBJ is more of a distraction, and they need to get rid of him.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because he has he played at all this season?
I don't think he has.
Man, that's
I'll look
actually
him up.
very distracting for the team, man. I think his contract runs up. I think after this season,
Mhm.
so it won't make no sense for them to re-sign him. You know,
I personally wouldn't.
nah,
get-
I don't. He's too much of a distraction.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't. And he hasn't really been the OBJ that we've seen.
I mean, when he was a Giant, like he was just on it every time. But ever since he got hit in the head with the netting in the bench, he hasn't been the same.
Let's see. Has he played this year? Absolutely not. Nope.
You know, that's
Well,
really
hold on.
sad. I think a person
Well, I'll
with
take
his
that back. He's
talent
played-
deserves a lot better.
I'll take that back. He's played 3 games, but
Really?
he's
Yeah, he played 3 games this season already.
2 carries and 14 yards. That's what he's done.
What about receiving?
0.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
And the stats is according to the NFL app. Yeah, he's got. Well, no, hold on. Here we go. It's loading. So he has 3 catches for 9 yards. 9 yards for 19 yards. Okay, 9
That sounds
yards
like
for
MVP
124.
season.
9 for 124.
That sounds like an MVP season right there. Seriously, the Browns need to get rid of him. Actually, so yeah. Wow, I did not know he actually played this year. He has only
I didn't
one
either. I
catch.
didn't think he did because on my fantasy team he hasn't started and hasn't done nothing. So I didn't think he was playing.
Hey, don't get me started on my fantasy league. I'm like 0-5.
I got one team that's doing well.
It's a
The
terrible
rest of
season.
everybody else is injury prone. I've got Judy on the IR, Kittle's on the IR. I lost Russ. Baker sucks. Javonte Williams was my sleeper pick. He hasn't done much for Denver. Cortland hasn't been targeted too much. So this year just hasn't been my year.
Yeah, same here. I mean, never let the computer draft you.
No.
That's what happened to me. So here's a quick story. So I like one day I just forgot that I had a draft. So I started to panic a bit. So I opened up my laptop, and the computer was like, it was drafted for me, and it kept on drafting all these wrong players. Like I didn't want Dak Prescott starting on my team. I didn't want AJ Brown. It was crazy.
Yep.
So I'd rather just draft on my own. So I will never forget that again. So.
I think it was I had a team this year that was computerized, and I know exactly what league they're in, and I know exactly how they're doing, and it hasn't been. I don't understand why my phone. Okay, it has not been very well. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's been terrible. So,
maybe-
Dodgers and Giants is still 0-0.
Yep.
It's
That
still,
one, I think, is gonna go down to the end.
now it's 21-7 Buccaneers. Yeah, this is slowly turning to a blowout. Brady has 190 yards and 2 TDs already. And Leonard Fournette has 12 carries for 40 yards and 1 touchdown.
He's really redeemed himself.
Yeah, he did. He has.
I give him props.
And
Crazy.
the good old Antonio Brown has 5 receptions for 52 yards and a touchdown.
Not too shabby.
What do you think about Antonio Brown reviving his career in Tampa Bay?
He got lucky. I didn't think he should have got another chance at all. But I understand everybody's got their personal issues. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could see him retire with Brady. Because how old is Antonio? He would have to be mid-30s now.
Yeah, he's probably. Let me check that for you. So
He would have to be mid-30s.
He is actually. He's actually 33 years old.
Dang, he's my age.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's still relatively young.
Wow.
Man, I thought he was like probably 32
Oh,
or
he's been in the
31.
league forever too.
Yeah, it seems like he was playing forever. Yeah, but he ruined his career in Pittsburgh.
Well, he did
ruined his
that.
career in Oakland.
Well, he
Yeah, he did.
He definitely did that. Yeah.
And now he's in a good place in Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And he also ruined his career in New England too.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he only played for one game before being cut. That one game against Miami when he had a touchdown pass. He caught a touchdown.
You know, Tom Brady really took him under his wing.
Yeah, he actually saved his man's career. Actually.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I give it props. You know, like I said, I don't respect Tom. Okay, rephrase this. I have nothing personally against Tom Brady, but it's Tom Brady. But no, that's cool that he's taken him under the wing. And I like that when players do that.
He's actually 44 years old and leading the NFL in passing. That's crazy.
I'm telling you, this dude this year is on fire.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Is it his diet or he just getting better?
And he doesn't look 40. I think he's 42, 43.
He's 44.
He's 44. He don't even look 44. This dude looks mid-30s. I'll give him that. I'm going to say he looks like 24, and that's not no. But this dude doesn't even look like 44.
He's like, I don't know what it is. It's just it's insane. Like I can't really explain his play.
Oh God, no.
Oh my God. It's like watching Jesus play. You know?
No, it's no, it's going to be. I'm kind of curious how long he actually plays. Is he going to win another Super Bowl? He very well could, and I wouldn't be surprised. He may add 2 more to his already ridiculous 7 rings. I like to, obviously it's a long shot, but if I ever had an opportunity to interview him, even for 4 minutes, the only question I'm ever going to ask him is, "What is your goal? Do you have a goal in a goal mindset in mind? A goal in mind on how many rings you're totaling? Because it's 7. Is he going for 10? Are you going for 11? Are you going for 8? Are you going for 9? Or are you just saying, hey, I'm going to win as many rings as I can during my time in the NFL? Obviously, that's probably never going to happen. But I would like to ask him that. Do you have a goal in mind? How many rings you want to win? Because you're at 7, dude. Man,
I think that's gonna be his. He's probably gonna win ring this year, and then that's it. He's not gonna break. He's not gonna break 10. He's not gonna break Bill Russell's record. I think 11. Mm-hmm. I know Yogi Berra. He has 12. So
yeah, Yogi has 12. He definitely won't get that.
And there was this NHL player. I think he has 13. I think I'm not sure. I forgot the name of it.
Sounds
I know
right.
he used to play for the Montreal Canadiens, and he finished his career with 13 rings. So I think that's the record for all sports. I think. Yeah, let me double check. Let's see.
I think you're right, though.
Let me actually Double check that. I think it's him. It's gonna be
Yeah.
like very interesting if he actually wins the ring this year. Okay, so it's actually Bill Russell. He owns 11 titles during his 13-year career. So it's yeah, I think it's him. I gotta see the winningest athlete of all time. Yep, that's it's actually Bill Russell, believe it or not. Brady's fourth on this list. He has seven Super Bowl rings and three other league MVPs. So the guy we were talking about earlier, the Canadians guy,
Hmm.
so his name is Henry Richard. He actually won 11 Stanley Cups in his career, in his 20-year career.
Baker. Baker won't win one.
Yeah,
But
he's not gonna win one, especially in Cleveland.
well, yeah, he won't win one. No, exactly.
No.
If he does, it'll have to be somewhere else that has talent to win. Um, but no, he won't win one. I was gonna say, oh, Tom Brady. Yeah, I think Tom Brady, in order for him to get even at 11, to tie 11, he would have to win this year. Really, would have to win next year. That would put him at 46 years old. 47, he would be.
So he has 7 rings, so he needs 4 more.
He needs 4. He'd be 48.
Yeah, he'll be 48, and I don't see that happen. Honestly, I really don't.
I know he. Now we don't know if he's kidding or not when he said, "I'm gonna be here to 50." I don't know. I really don't think he's got much left. He's playing phenomenal, lights out, absolutely. I still, and I
I don't
agree.
know. I don't know. He's been struggling the last 2 games. Like before the Miami Dolphins game last week, he struggled against the Rams.
Well, and he actually struggled for the most part against the Patriots. I personally thought Mac
Yeah,
played much of a better game than
yeah, he
Tom.
outplayed him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I mean, like Brady is actually gonna be a Hall of Famer one day, but I do not see him going past like 45, 46. Like that's how it is. Like age is undefeated. Father Time is undefeated.
Well, we look at the Yankees, for example. Derek Jeter. He couldn't, as much as a heck of a shortstop he was, one of the greatest of all time. And of course, definitely pinstripes. Age catches up. Father Time says, "Nah, we done."
Mm-hmm.
And this showed on the field. His hitting got worse. His defensive skills definitely got worse. His little one hop on his right, on his foot to throw it to first, it wasn't that great and pretty like it used to be. But anyway, so no, it followed time in sports. People are like, well, he's only 33, 35, 37 years old. Yeah, that's not old, but in sports,
That's an eternity. That's like
that's old.
yeah, that's an eternity in sports years.
Speaking of age, LeBron James, how long do you think he has left?
I think he only plays for like probably 3 more years, and that's it.
So I think I would say that, yeah. What's his legacy gonna
Because
be?
he wants to start off his Hollywood career. So
Man. That wasn't a very good performance, though. I ain't gonna lie. Did you?
yeah, I
Have
don't
you
know.
watched?
He might win a ring this year because of he has Westbrook now, and he has Anthony Davis.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he might
has a
win.
heck of a
He might
bench,
get
too.
lucky.
Yep. Well, don't forget you got Carmelo that can average probably 3 points. I'm sure by now.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Carmelo.
Oh.
Carmelo's just playing because he's trying to get that ring, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, I
That's all.
mean he's gonna get his ring and then he's gonna retire.
Oh, absolutely.
I actually met him last month for the book signing. He's actually a really cool dude.
Is he?
Yeah, really cool dude.
That's cool. He looks it. I know his time here in Oklahoma City was short, but he seemed like one of those cool guys that you just maybe not so much, chill with at home. I'm sure he's hilarious though, but even just to me, like in your stance, I'm sure that I could see him being a cool guy.
Yeah, he's actually really cool. I'm actually reading his book right now, and it's really good.
Nice. I'll have to check it out. Speaking of, LeBron, what's I can tell you my legacy on him real quick. What's your What do you think his legacy is going to be for once he ever retires? Because I know he's not Everybody compares him to be better and or equal to Michael Jordan, which that's crap. But it is what it is. What do you think his legacy is going to be once he hangs it all up?
I think his legacy is. I think he's gonna be the fourth best player to ever play the
Mhm.
game. So for me, my top four is Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and LeBron James.
That's not a bad lineup right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's those are my top four. I think he's gonna be the greatest power forward. I think he plays,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah, power forward to play the game. But as far as like his career, I think him joining super teams is just like it kind of hurt it because he's
Mhm.
gonna be that guy that player that everyone's gonna say, oh, he had help. And Jordan, he never had help. He had like a bunch of supporting cast. Yeah, Kobe had help, but he had a supporting cast
Mhm.
as well. Except for Shaq. Shaq could play like he could play like three, four positions.
Shaq, I loved watching Shaq.
Yeah, I actually love watching Shaq. He's
Oh,
actually cool.
that was cool.
So yeah, I think he plays 3 years. And he probably just want to do movies. He just want to produce movies after. He is in Hollywood after all.
Well, that he is, and and I'm not taking nothing away from him. I don't, and I've said this many times on the podcast, even solo and with people on, and so on and so forth. He won't ever be Michael Jordan, and here's why. People are like, well, he played for the Wizards. Okay, I don't even consider that. First of
That was
all,
post. That was post.
yeah, that was way exactly. That was way post, and he won the 6 rings. Well, he won it with Pippen and Rodman and so on and so forth. He still stayed with that one organization, and he still won those 6 rings.
Hmm.
He didn't have to go to Miami. Well, first off, he didn't have to make a decision show with the Boy Scouts of America or Girl Scouts, whoever they were, the Boys and Girls Club or whatever it was, in the background saying he's going to go take his talents to South Beach. He didn't have to do that. Then he got on stage with Bosch and Wade and said, "We're going to win 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever." In the number bringing him up, he didn't have to do any of that. Yeah, LeBron won. That's cool. But then he went back to Cleveland, won another one. Then he went to LA, won another one.
Hmm.
Michael just stayed in Chicago, and that was Michael. That was it.
Yeah, he
He,
just stayed there, just play as a Wizard 1 year, and then retired.
yeah, and I think he did that just to give those young kids, Kwame Brown, who never panned out to be anything, try to help him more of a mentor than anything else. He wasn't there to go to win a ring because that team wasn't even winning. That team had no talent to even win an NBA championship, and he knew that. But he won't be. And plus, Michael Jordan, at the end of the day, he is undefeated in the NBA Finals, unlike LeBron.
And LeBron is like he had 6 losses in the finals. Hmm.
Yeah,
That's not GOAT material right there. So
yeah, because he lost Cleveland. He lost San Antonio. Miami was also San Antonio, I believe, 1 year.
hmm
Dallas, I think, was 1 year. Yeah, I thought. Let's see
so
here.
he lost. So he is actually. Hold on, I think he
I think
is.
San Antonio was another year.
His NBA Finals record is actually 4-6.
Yikes.
So he has 6 NBA losses, 6 NBA Finals losses. So the
Mm-mm.
teams that he lost to were the Warriors. I think the Warriors twice.
Oh, I
The
forgot about the Warriors.
Spurs. The Mavericks. So all right, I'll give you a full list right now. So he lost to the Spurs actually twice. He lost to the Spurs twice. in '07 to 2000, and I think 2014. He lost to the Warriors twice, three times actually. He got swept in 2018, and he won a championship in 2020. So he lost to the Spurs twice. He lost to the Warriors three times, and he lost to the Mavericks once.
Yep. Yeah, I forgot about Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State ruined his career actually because they ruined his finals career. It's crazy.
Yep.
Wow, man, I don't know. LeBron, I like LeBron, but I think he's a little bit overrated because of his NBA Finals appearance.
Mm-hmm. He'll go down like you said, biggest power forward and whatever else you want to consider him. But when it comes to one of the greatest of all time, top 10, absolutely. Top 5, you could probably throw him in there. He's not one. He's definitely not two. I think Michael and Kobe owns those upright, and honestly, they're hands down. You can't take Kobe and Michael out of that spot. Those two spots.
Mm-hmm.
Could you flip them? Yeah, you maybe so. I think Michael still gets the edge over even Kobe because of that NBA Finals record. But Kobe was a heck of a player and phenomenal guy off the court as well. But I think LeBron's probably top 10, top 5. He's definitely not top 2, and that's fine. I mean, power to him, but I wish people would realize, that NBA record I think is going to be regardless. I know it's probably going to change, I'm sure, but
so who do you think is going to win the who do you think is going to win the finals this year?
I'm going to go out on a limb. A huge limb, but I really like Denver. I'm not a Denver Nugget guy by any means, but I really like Denver. Even though Milwaukee's still a team to beat.
Yeah, because they're the champions.
Exactly. Utah, I think, can run the table. I think the Lakers. I like, Russ.
The problem with the Lakers is they're too old.
They're old. They're definitely old, and I don't know if Russ and LeBron's going to shove the ball enough.
I think there's going to be a problem with that because Russell Westbrook, he's like a ball hog.
Yes, he is.
Oh my God, there's going to be a lot of shouting matches in that locker room this season.
Russ thought he had it bad here in Oklahoma City with KD, boy.
James Harden too. So.
Oh yeah, and James and.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I think the Brooklyn Nets, minus Kyrie Irving.
That's going to be interesting.
I think that they could dethrone the Bucks. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Like the Knicks have gotten a lot better.
The Knicks can be
the Sixers are still in disarray with that whole Ben Simmons deal. Let's see who else. The Celtics. I don't think they're the same team years back.
Nope.
Maybe let's see who else. Maybe the Raptors. The Raptors, no. I think the Raptors are in rebuilding mode right now.
No, I don't think Miami can. I don't think Miami can run the table either.
I mean, if you look at it, there's only 5 good teams in the East.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like the East, I don't see anybody winning for the East other than the Nets or the Bucks as well.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at it. Milwaukee, obviously, but besides Milwaukee and Brooklyn, it's kind of there's a gap. Excuse me, there's a gap in between those, and I really think Brooklyn could easily edge out Milwaukee. But that West. When I look at the West, boy.
It's gonna be a dog. It's gonna be a dog fight.
Because you got, if you get a healthy Golden State team back, I mean, that's if you get them back, they could make some noise. Not saying they're going to, but they could. Utah can make a lot of noise. What Houston won't. Oklahoma City sure in the heck ain't. That team sucks.
Nah, that team is in real rebuilding
That team
now.
is horrid. But Utah can make a run. Phoenix. I forgot about Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix is gonna return back to the
There.
finals.
Denver can get there. The Clippers, if they can ever get their their lineup healthy for a good stretch, they could make noise. Dallas, a dark horse. I don't see much from them. Portland, they're always disappointing. I think the Lakers are going to get better, even though they're old. But everybody else is kind of whatever.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. But I like Denver. I like Utah. Phoenix, I think, would be your top three. Clippers, if you can get a healthy Kawhi Leonard and a healthy Paul George and maybe a few other players to add to the mix, they could make a run. But it seems like they can't ever get a healthy lineup really at all during the regular season. And when they get to playoffs, it's always one and done or two and done because you realize, we're actually healthy, but we never play with each other, and that's that.
What about the Spurs?
You can't count out Popovich. You can't count him out.
Yeah, he's in every playoffs ever. So
Man, he's like a Bill Belichick. When's he ever going to retire? I think the Spurs are going to be a lot better than they were last year. The young kids.
So I think we're gonna get. I think I should go for the. I think the Bucks is gonna repeat actually.
I think I can definitely see that.
I don't know.
A team to look out for is Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta is actually really good too.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they made like a run last year, and I could see them winning, but I don't know. The Hawks, they have a history of choking, so especially the city of Atlanta.
28-3. That's all it takes.
28-3.
But no, I'm actually looking forward to the NBA. I know here in Oklahoma City we're not too excited for the Thunder, but nonetheless, the NBA is here.
Yep.
Kind of switching to what a lot of people don't talk about much or even care because it's always about WWE, or if you're really old school like me, WWF still.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you mentioned it when we talked earlier on topics, but AEW, I love me some AEW.
Such a good product. Such a good product.
I was going to say, tell me your thoughts on this great product, what you like so far, and could this be our new WCW Monday Night Raw with, we can't say WWF, but WWE?
I think it is. I mean, I actually went to Grand Slam last month at Arthur Ashe Stadium. It was just incredible. I saw Danny Bryan versus Kenny Omega live. It's like one of the best matches I've ever seen live. And I think give it like 2 to 3 years from now, I think AEW is going to be the top. I think WWE is going to go down. I mean, you already see it because WWE, the ticket sales for WWE has been going down every city, while AEW has been going up. I mean, I guess people are just tired of the same thing WWE is offering them. So a lot of wrestlers who are in WWE, they're not getting the chance that they deserve. As if while in AEW, those superstars are actually getting like a lot of creativity, a lot of opportunities down there.
Mm-hmm. I like the product of AEW. What was your first? Now, my first reaction. Dan texted me, and he was like, literally, I was like, my wife and I, we just went to bed or in the process of going to bed. And he texted me. He's like, dude, you would not believe this. I said, what's up? You got Adam Cole. Then you got Bryan Danielson.
I don't know how they pull it off.
Oh my God.
And they're doing so well down there too.
Yes, they are. I
honestly don't know how they got both of them to sign. Like, I have no
Man.
idea.
And then, I forgot you got CM Punk. But it sounded like to me because I was going through Twitter and you can always put rumors and you always have rumors. And of course, everybody loves making these all elite memes like, LeBron James and all elite. And, it's hilarious. But then some of them were like, ooh, I wonder if this is true or not. Of course, then Adam Cole was a lot of people was shocked that WWE let go because Adam Cole was supposed to be their next Triple H, obviously not as big and bulky, but that's their next big star in NXT.
Why do you think he left though?
Exactly.
No, I asking why do you think he left?
I think because first off, the storylines have gotten horrible.
Yeah, it did.
Absolutely horrible. And I feel like they disrespected Adam, wasn't given that fair shot to get into the next level, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And to prove himself, he's stuck at NXT. Nothing wrong with that, but he's stuck down there. And WWE, what they always do, which is have always been in the past, they bring back the old guys that can't fight anymore. You got for one night it's Triple H, even though he hasn't wrestled forever. But Taker practically took him a broken hip and then some to retire. Poor guy, but the storyline, in my opinion, is why Adam Cole, I believe, left. He wasn't getting that opportunity.
So here's the thing: I think there's no creativity in WWE, and AEW they have all these type of creativity down there, and that's why it's thriving. And also, there's no 15-minute promos, taking up time. It's just pure wrestling.
Yep.
That's what it is, and a lot of fans want that. They want pure wrestling instead of like sitting there for like a 30-minute promo promoting a storyline.
And I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know what Vince is going to do with the product. I've heard that Triple H is supposed to be taking over when or if Vince retires, and that's cool. I don't know how that would go. You got. What does Shane do? Do we know?
No, Shane. He actually has his own company now.
Does he?
Yeah, he's not associated with WWE anymore.
Interesting.
I think he never wanted to own that company anyway. So
I think he is smart. I think he's a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
Heck of a daredevil.
Yeah, all that injuries though.
Well, him jumping off the
cells, cage matches, all that stuff.
Man. Jumping. I remember wrestling. How old are you, Kenny, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 32.
So we're the same age. So I'm sure you remember the good old days with the NWO and DX. I thought the NWO was the world's greatest thing on earth for wrestling. I thought that was phenomenal. Of course, then you got DX, which I thought that was phenomenal. Well, but back in those days, people were like, oh, he shouldn't be watching this. Kids shouldn't be watching this. But the NWO I thought was very phenomenal, was excellent. But, I'll be honest with you. We used to attend quite a bit growing up wrestling events, but not so much now because they were here not too long ago. And I wouldn't mind going, but it's like, I don't want to pay. Tickets weren't outrageous, but I don't want to pay. This product is horrible. The storylines are, like the Charlotte Flair and Ric Flair and Ric Flair's woman that's supposed to be like,
that classic Lacey Evans storyline.
Yes, that was. Come on, guys.
Oh, that was terrible.
They carry that thing on forever, and we just sit there. My wife doesn't really care about wrestling, but she's just something like, "This is bad acting." I'm like, thank you. That's exactly what But they let go a lot of people. WWE did. I think if I can't speak on AEW's behalf, but boy,
man,
I'm with you. I think AEW probably in the next 2-3 years. I'm with you. I think it's past at this rate. It will pass WWE. The ratings are showing it.
Yep, the ratings are showing it. Actually, I give it time, but it was succeed. And Tony Khan is awesome too. Yeah.
One thing and I like is what I like about AEW is they get wrestlers that's been there. You know, Chavo, The Big Show, Paul Wyatt. You got, I think Mark Henry is one of them, and Chris. You know, I know Chris Jericho wrestles, but I still think he's there to mentor more than he is.
Yeah, he's not gonna wrestle as much anymore.
No, he's on the downhill slope, and I think he knows that. I think Christian Cage is another one that I think he wrestles, but he's definitely there mainly just to be. Dustin Rhodes. I'm looking through the roster real quick. You know, Dustin Rhodes. You know, and I think I watched. It was on Dynamite. Was it 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks? I can't remember. Someone brought that up, which made me really think. I kind of wonder. It sounds like he's talking retirement first of all,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the fans chanting, "You still got this" and all that, which is cool.
Yeah.
I like Dustin Rhodes, but I think it's time for him to give it up. What you think?
Yeah, I think he should have retired a long time ago, but again, it's that lure of professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you really don't retire technically. Like if Ric Flair is still fighting.
Yep. And you know, those, you know, I didn't realize when I saw him, made me think, oh, it brought, of course, brought back old memories. I didn't know Brian Pillman's son until a few weeks ago was wrestling in AEW. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah,
Of course,
he was
I heard
facing that jerk at MJF at Grand Slam. So
boy, I ain't gonna say. I'll be honest with you, and then I'll ask you a question real quick. Brian looks like his dad.
it looks exactly like him, right?
Man,
Everything.
looks like his dad.
From the hair to the face, like he looks exactly like his father.
Wow. I looked real quick. I'm like, I knew Pillman'd been gone years. I'm like, huh, you really look familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And they say Pillman. I'm like, that's Brian Pillman's son.
Yep.
And obviously,
Brian
that was.
Pillman's son. Flying
Yep.
Brian Pillman.
Man. Now, I will say that this ain't the question I'm going to ask you. I like Brian Cage, but that dude looks like he's on steroids.
Yeah, that man looks like he ate like a whole cow or something. The man is like, wow. That man is huge too. So
Oh.
I think one wrestler that I really like is Jade Cargill.
Mm-hmm.
She is like amazing. She's in phenomenal shape. Like, and I could see her winning the women's title one day.
I think that I could easily see that. I think the storyline you can note, and I still think the women's in AEW is a lot better than women's in the WWE. The talent's a lot better with women's, but I'm with you. I could see her even in the next few months. I could see her at least challenging for it. Excuse me, and I think probably little after the new year, I could see her potentially winning the championship. I could easily see that.
Yeah, I actually do want her to win the championship along with Thunder Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Thunder Rosa, she's like, I love Thunder Rosa. She's like an incredible athlete.
But you brought up MJF, and I was going to kind of get that because that was an interesting storyline, whether it was true or not. How hard, if you're Brian Pillman, and I'm not going to sit here and say everything because I know that there was a story on Brian Pillman why he continued to be in wrestling and everything else, but and you know, of course, the death of his dad and everything that led up to where he is now. So I ain't gonna get into that, but here's obviously that's not a touchy one, but I kind of like to see what you think. Of course, someone actually watches AEW instead of just picking a random person that may think, well, I might go with it. Do you think when MJF and Brian Pillman met in the ring, of course, had a conversation, of course, he brought up, you know, your mom should have swallowed you, and of course, then other stuff about his dad and the lifestyle, so on and so forth. Do you think Yeah, I'm sure it had to be agreeable, especially on Pillman's side. How hard do you think that was? Even if they both said we're going to plan this out, Brian, stay as calm as you can. Let's just say that was a conversation. I don't really know. How hard do you think that was for Pillman to really stay in that character mode compared to, dude, I'm about to bust you a new one? When MJF was talking literally about his past and his childhood.
It has to have been incredibly hard because Brian Pillman's life has been
Yep.
public knowledge for quite some time. But I guess he had permission from Brian Pillman. I mean, MJF did, and I think he seemed he was cool with it, but it doesn't really mean that he was right to say
Right.
so. I mean, it was very, very personal.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with MJF with Darby Allin.
Yep.
Darby Allin, like he had a history of substance abuse, and he came on a record saying that his uncle passed away due to a drunk driving accident. And I think he was behind the wheel. I mean, he wasn't. Darby Allin was in the vehicle, but he was behind the wheel.
Yep.
So that was actually another personal storyline that MJF is doing right now.
I guess I like the storylines, and I know a lot of people. And with those, and obviously it definitely is a personal story for all the listeners out there and on live stream and everything else. It's obviously a personal story because obviously if you know WWE, you know obviously Brian Pillman one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course Darby's death. And I think that's what's interesting because that's what's so good about AEW. They bring in, and back to this, we go with the storylines, and even with these two storylines just in itself, you all of a sudden you have the attention of the fans instead of just some random storyline that may turn out to be well. That's what's like, because even then I was watching it, but I wasn't really engaged. I'm kind of scrolling through Twitter, trying to tweet. Obviously, I think that storyline was one of my busier days at work. Because September we were murdered. I swear to God, we were murdered at work. But so I wasn't really paying attention. But boom, once that hit, I'm like, hold up, timeout. Now I'm glued to the screen because of that storyline, and that's what I like about AEW.
Mm-hmm. Well, AEW is just pure wrestling. Like there are some storylines in it, but it doesn't really take over the majority of the time that it has. So you get these like 20-minute, 30-minute matches, and that's all they want. I mean, the fans want. Meanwhile, WWE has like an hour-long storyline with no really payoff towards a backstory. I think the women's division actually is not doing well right now because they have the women's crown tournament, and there's only been like 8 minutes of action in it, which is really, really insane. That's really, really bad. Can you imagine like being a woman in WWE and you only have 8 minutes of action? That's incredible. And they say that AEW's women's division is bad, right?
Exactly. Yeah, AEW's in the right path. I hope they stick to the guns and what they built this product on, because I really think that this is the next best thing that's out there. And I'm sure, I'm not in these meetings with Vince and all this, but I can guarantee you WWE's probably every week, hey Vince, to the storylines and probably to Triple H and Stephanie and whoever else is involved in all this. I'm sure their meetings are long sometimes because, here lately the ratings, they've caught them, and a lot of people are switching to AEW, and it's a great product. So I can't blame them.
Well, it's not only ratings, the ticket sales too.
Yeah.
Actually, in November, Raw is going to be in New York City, and they're actually trailing by AEW, who's going to be in the same arena in December. And AEW is actually outselling their tickets to WWE, which is really, really amazing. And also, there's like a big following of AEW here in New York City, but WWE doesn't want to admit that.
Well, no, that's a big market right there.
That's a big, big market. New York City has always been a big market. But I just think AEW for now is the best product on television,
Yep.
and I feel like they're gonna succeed. They're gonna do a lot better than WWE.
I could see it, and I could see it. I know. You're not going to replace the good old days, and obviously that's fine. But
Well, that's the problem right there. They are
Yeah.
trying to get the good old days right now.
Mhm.
They're reliving the good old days, but people don't want that. People
Well,
don't want
no.
to see Goldberg wrestle at Crown Jewel next week.
hmm
And I'm just glad that AEW is actually taking over because it just brings a fresh group of matchups.
I like it, and I say to AEW, just keep on doing your thing,
Yeah, keep on trucking.
man. Keep on doing your thing. As we slowly wrap up to the show, bottom of the fourth, San Francisco with a runner on base and no outs on first, and scoreless in Game 5 of the NLDS.
Let's
And
go. Let's go Giants. We don't want to see a Dodger Braves matchup again.
No, and of course, real quick, speaking of that, ALCS obviously is set in stone. Baltimore, they wish. Boston and Houston, of course, to me, I don't like either team, but whatever. However, I gotta respect the team that's in there. I'm a Yankee fan, but
I'm a Yankee fan too.
this year was tough. That was a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, because of overmanaging Aaron Boone. That's why.
He needs to be gone. He needs to be gone.
Well, he's coming back next season.
Yeah, because he fired his hitting coach Marcus Thames, and well, I'm sure it was one of those things we're gonna either mutually separate or we're gonna fire you. I'm sure that's probably what that was.
Well,
Well,
those two deserve to be fired though because Phil Neville was one that sent Aaron Judge to home plate during the wild card game, and the offense wasn't really hitting, and that was the thanks to Thames.
Why not? Well, exactly, and you got Marcus Thames. I know his contract's not being renewed. I thought who's there? Phil Nevin, I believe, is their third base coach. I think he's gone. Yeah, he's gone too. Yep. Now he should be gone for that horrible play, giving Judge the signal to run the third when he was obviously clearly out against Boston.
I actually thought that he had Trey Turner on the team. He thought that Aaron Judge was Trey Turner. And that's what happened. I don't know what happened there, and he deserved to get fired, honestly.
Well, I would have fired him right on.
Yeah, I would have fired him just because of that decision making.
Yeah, exactly. Because and I'm not going to sit there and say that would have changed the whole game. Well, at that moment, it would have, because I think they had one out at the time. Stanton got the second humongous hit. I think they already scored one.
Yeah, it was a double, and then all of a sudden,
here comes Judge, and then Boston gains that momentum, and then blows the Yankees out of the water.
And game over, season over.
Yep.
What a really weird season it has been.
They couldn't. The Yankees still need pitching.
They need pitching. They need bullpen help.
They need bad
bullpen. And I told people that, just because you have Gallo and Rizzo doesn't mean it solves the bullpen issues.
Nope.
And look what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost.
Yep.
And they're home right now instead of playing the ALCS against the Astros.
The Astros. What's your take? Who do you got winning the ALCS?
I don't know. Can I choose nobody?
I kind of hope they both get caught cheating, and maybe the Major League Baseball be like, you guys don't advance, and they just end up playing. No, I ain't gonna say that.
I mean, you want my honest answer? I don't like Boston. I hate Boston so much.
Mm-hmm.
But yep. I'll have to go with the Astros.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that.
Yeah. So they're on their own redemption tour. So
mm-hmm. It's the We didn't cheat tour. I'm gonna call it that.
They almost made it to the World Series though last year.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
7 games to the Rays, but it wasn't meant to be.
I don't want to watch that ALCS, but I may
Yeah,
have
me
to.
either. I don't even want to watch the NLCS too because the Braves. I don't know how they made it this far. It was more of the Brewers choking. So
Yep. Well, the Brewers left that. They let that one go.
yeah, they did.
Yep.
They let that go. They should have won that series, but I guess it didn't happen. So,
But we'll see. I mean, of course, if you're listening right now, once an episode gets published tomorrow and dropped, more than likely tomorrow night, obviously the game's going to be over. But
yeah.
But nonetheless, Dodgers and the Giants scoreless in the fourth. Winner gets the Braves. We obviously know the Astros and the Red Sox are the ALCS as we continue through the postseason of Major League Baseball. But
meanwhile, in Philadelphia, there's a murder being committed right now. It's 28-7 Buccaneers.
Oh Lord!
With quarter number 3, 5:47 left. So this game is basically over.
Philly doesn't have enough talent to play catch up at that.
No, they're done.
Their defense is.
Well, we'll see what happens with this.
It's still a lot of football left. I mean, I just got done watching my team come back from a 28-7 deficit against the University of Texas. So, I mean, anything's possible. However, the University of Texas doesn't have Tom Brady, and so that's the downfall. If you're a Eagles or a Eagles fan, that you don't have Tom Brady, and it's gonna be tough to go get him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kenny, my man, I appreciate you coming on.
No, man, it was actually really fun. I really do appreciate the invite for the show.
Hey, most definitely, and I'll shoot you another one. I know, once we probably get a World Series preview going here, and
yeah, definitely. Let me know.
But, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Air Attack Podcast. It was fun. Once again, Kenny the Sports Guy Podcast. Kenny, if I can talk right, it's getting close to my bedtime. No, not really. But Kenny, let them know where they can find you again and all that fun information.
So my social media pages is Twitter at Kenny_sports. Again, on Twitter at Kenny_sports. And Instagram at Kenny the Sports Guy. Again, on Instagram at Kenny the Sports Guy. You can follow me on my website for future past episodes. www.kenthesportsguy.com. Ken with 2 N's. And you can find me on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify.
There you go. Give him a listen. His stuff is good. You do not want to miss any of his episodes. Of course, Kenny, thank you so much for coming on. And don't forget, guys, next Wednesday, definitely tune in. Marty from Intercept Your Lunch podcast will be coming on talking NFL and so much more. Again, Kenny, thank you for coming on. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care out there.
You too, man.
You've been listening to the Air Attack Podcast. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you all next Wednesday.